distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue, ACD, it is my honor and privilege to make a statement again at this esteemed conference, finally in person. Please allow me to first express sincere thanks and appreciation to the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, China Media Group, and China International Communications Group for hosting this event and the hospitality extended to me. Democracy is the system that emphasizes the importance of public participation, responsibility, accountability, and transparency in decision-making. During the pandemic, all governments, including political parties, needed to ensure that decisions were made in the public interest and that due regards were given to all walks of life, especially those at high risk of infection. After COVID-19, the public should continue to enjoy their right to participation in the decision-making process and to hold governments, businesses, and other stakeholders accountable for their actions. However, democracy, in my view, has to go hand in hand with responsibility and transparency. The Universal Declaration on Democracy, adopted by the Inter-Parliamentary Council in 1997, observes that this basic right of citizenship has to be exercised with freedom, equality, transparency, and responsibility, with due respect for the plurality of views and in the interest of the polity. It continues by saying that democracy is a mode of government to be applied according to modalities reflecting the diversity of experiences and cultural particularities. It means that a country may define its own democracy or political regime as long as such political system is formed to serve the people. Nevertheless, democracy has to be transparent so that it can be kept in check at all times. Once there is any wrongdoing, anyone involved in the process should be held responsible. Democracy, like any political system, has to be regulated. While people enjoy their rights and freedoms, they do have responsibility to observe all the time. What about sustainable development, which is the topic that I would like to touch upon? Sustainable development is a framework for addressing the challenges that arise from economic growth and development. Sustainable development recognizes that economic growth should not be pursued at the expense of the environment or social well-being. It emphasizes the need for a balanced approach that considers the long-term impacts of development on the environment and society. This is the right to development that people may enjoy to improve the quality of life. Meanwhile, due regard must be given to the conservation of natural resources and the protection of the environment. In my view, management is key to strike the balance between the right to development and the need to protect or safeguard the environment. If management is efficient, development may be pursued while doing less harm to the environment. In fact, it is development in a sustainable way or sustainable development. To make sustainable development more efficient, public participation should be promoted so that decision-making process may be made in the interest of all stakeholders, particularly the local communities. Whatever actions or projects the government intends to undertake may meet the requirements and satisfaction of the constituents in the concerned areas. To put it in another way, democracy may have its role to play in the process so that all stakeholders may have their voice heard. Ladies and gentlemen, at the second Asia Cooperation Dialogue, ACD Summit on the 10th of October 2017 in Bangkok, Thailand, the member states endorsed the ACD vision for Asia Cooperation 2030, which aligned itself to the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. To translate this into action, ACD Blueprint 2017 to 2021 was adopted together with the Bangkok Declaration. At the ACD, the decision-making process is a kind of democratic process, even when it has extended itself to ACD Blueprint 2021 to 2030, as it is based on consensus, which is in substance a right to veto in itself. It requires us to come to a collective agreement or decision that is acceptable to all. In the process, every member state has an equal say in the discussion and decision making. It also promotes a sense of ownership and commitment to the decision or action taken, and ensures that interests of all are heard and considered. Consensus gives member states, regardless of their sizes or economic scales, the power to block a decision that would be harmful or go against their interests. In conclusion, democracy and sustainable development are essential for creating a better world. Democracy is important for sustainable development because it promotes transparency, accountability, and public participation, while sustainable development, if achieved, would allow people time to embrace democracy gradually. Thank you very much.